It sounds pretty good.
Ooh, I can see the live on YouTube. That's so cool.
Wait, buddy, it's just slowly going. And I'll put the link on Instagram too. Setting up your meeting for YouTube Live. All right, now this link goes to my Instagram profile. Right.
Hang on one sec.
And cool. And I will send you. All right. And I'll just make a quick video just telling people that I'll just check YouTube, make sure the live stream is good. But I'm just checking YouTube, make sure that the live stream is good.
Yeah, I'm just putting my headphones on so now I can hear you.
Buddy, just shut up and let me check.
All right.
And I'll just make a quick video just telling people that I'll just check YouTube. All right, well, okay, I guess I'll do this. All right, we are on YouTube Live, and where is it? There we are. So link in the bio. Hope people join us. End video, yes. Share to IGTV. No, I don't want to share to IGTV. This bloody thing.
Share the story.
Okay, I don't have that option. Maybe it's an iPhone thing. But we're going on YouTube Live. Come join us. Engineer and Audio Career, episode 3 with my boy.
Awesome. Let me copy this and let me do a Instagram story thing now. Going live with my boy Jeet right now. Check out the link in. Well, actually, I'm going to do a swipe up. So just swipe up and
fancy,
join.
Fancy. When did that's a business with thing? My boy
Jeet. No, I think you have to have over 10,000 followers to be able to do that.
I see. That's interesting. So I got the YouTube stream up. With my boy Jeet. So if anybody wants to ask questions, they're welcome to ask questions. We're going to talk about audio engineering and stuff.
Okay, just trying to do a swipe up thing. My internet's pretty slow, obviously, because it's not giving me a nice swipe up. See, it's so slow.
Well, actually, I'm going to do a swipe up. So just swipe up.
Like, you know why? Because you're in India.
Fuck you.
Going live.
Gotta come back to America.
Right now, check out the link in.
Well, actually, not happening anytime soon. Okay, I guess this lame ass swipe up.
Going live
Boom.
With my boy Jeet.
Man, I'm hearing this 10th time.
There we go. Okay.
All right. Well, here we go. Welcome, Rohan Solomon, to Engineer and Audio Career. What's up, dude?
Thank you, man. Great to be here. Cheers.
It's weird. Oh, well, cheers. I got my Starbucks official mocha.
You know you have a coffee maker at home, right?
It sucks, though. I don't know who it belongs to, but it just sucks.
Well, I'm sure it belongs to a really, really wise human being. Dude, a lot of insight on life.
Dude, 80% of this home is filled with your stuff. Like, like I literally use like your couch is here, your piano. I'm sitting on your chair right now. You know, all your stuff.
Dude, I'm at least happy that you're getting to use it. Someone's getting to use it, and you know, you helped me move out all that shit from the old apartment. So.
Oh my god, dude, that was such a crazy time, right? Because what happened? Like we were both in India, right? Remember we were both in India, and then you called me while I was in Cochin. You were. You know, in some stupid place. I don't know. It's called Delhi or something.
Yeah, it's just the capital of the country, but sure. And I had mailed my apartment keys to you.
Yeah.
to give back to Marbella. Yes.
Yeah, you told me like, hey, bro, I'm not coming back. I'm like, hey, what the hell? Like, I'm sleeping on your couch. I need a place to stay.
I'm like, no.
We gotta get Leonard on here. Leonard will be one of the guests coming out.
Oh my God, yes. I'd love to co-host that in some
That'll
way.
be a 3-hour episode because each answer will take 5 minutes to answer. But I remember you called me. You told me that you weren't coming back. I said, okay, I'll take care of it. And yeah, the process of moving out, man, it was interesting for sure. It all worked out very well. So I don't know if I told you. I did tell you, but like I used a storage company to store all your stuff in a warehouse, and then they just took it to the new place. And because they were a new company, they gave me such a great deal. It was super cheap, like ridiculously cheap. I think I paid like $500 or something in total. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, man, like everything sort of just seemed to work out by the end of it. So that was good.
Yeah. So I met you at Engine Room, right? That's the first.
Yes.
Do you remember the first encounter we had? Because I do. Or my memory says one thing. I want to see what your memory says.
I remember it. It was at Engine Room. I was a Recording Connection student at the time. And you were operations manager of Engine Room. And, so when the students walk in, just to give people who are watching this some sort of perspective, Engine Room Audio is also a teaching studio. And we have students that come in and, we teach and stuff. So at the start of the session of when the students come in, they usually hang out in the front, they hang out in the lobby by the pool table or by the coffee machine. And until, they're told where they're going and what they're observing and stuff like that. So I was just waiting there with the other students, making a coffee. And I think and then you came to make a coffee as well. And well, obviously, like for no other reason, I think we just firstly, because I obviously knew off the bat that you're Indian. So I was like, oh, hey,
how did you know? How did you know?
Because of the way you look.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. And, so we started talking a little bit, just a little chit chat. And I think Mark had told you to kind of assign us what we were going to do for the day. And either you were teaching us or either you had one of the GAs teaching us or something. But basically we were supposed to communicate with you as to what we're doing that day, because Mark was like too busy to.
I can't deal with that shit, man.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the part. That is the moment.
That's pretty much it. And I remember you started to tell me that you lived in India for some time, and and you said, and I remember you said that you kind of started getting a little bit into the local bands.
Yeah. Mother Jane was like the first band locally that I was like huge admirer of.
Oh, great band, dude. Great band. And I remember, and I was like, oh shit, dude. And I know a lot of bands from the South. I'm pretty good friends with a lot of them. So, and I was like, oh, dude, like, what are some of the bands that you used to like? Because, maybe I'm friends with some of them. And you named a few. Of course, you named Mother Jane. I think you named Junkyard Groove, if I'm not mistaken. And then you named Cyanide. And that, I was taken aback with that because I was like, well, that's my band.
Well, no, I don't think I mentioned Cyanide. I think the way I remember it happened was, we said, oh, where are you from? Like, okay, I'm from Kerala, from India. And I think we were just talking about local music. And then I don't know if it was, I think you mentioned that you were in a band called Cyanide. I'm like, oh my God, dude, I've listened to your music so much. And like, that's when because I had never seen a picture of you. Because at least back when I was in high school and everything and undergrad, it was not really, there's not a lot of video stuff. There was a lot of audio circulating on people's phones and stuff. I used to get these like WhatsApp messages or like regular text messages with just people's songs, and sometimes you'd never know who the band was, but it was just amazing music. But I remember the name Cyanide came up so many times, like, oh dude, check out this song by Cyanide, check out this song. And I think you were even on like a reality show. I think I'd seen you there once.
Yeah.
When was that?
Channel V Launchpad, that was 2007. That was 2007.
What was that like, dude?
Well, it's not really reality, for one thing. I shouldn't say it was scripted, but it was like there was a lot of it that was guided. Like our conversations were guided, and we were kind of briefed, like hit these little mile markers, you know.
It was produced.
Yes, so they were like, kind of, they would guide your conversation. They're like, talk about this, and then work your way into talking about this, and then work your way into talking about this. And then, they tried to dress us up in a certain way, which we completely were against. And we just were like, fuck that. We're like, well, we're going to wear what we're comfortable with. But, and they were like, well, but if you guys want to be on the show, like when you're performing, you got to have some sort of a similar look. I'm like, dude, look at the bands that are performing today. Like maybe other than Kiss, like, I don't think anybody in a band really dresses the same way. Everyone has their own way of dressing. But anyhow, we all at some point in our lives played basketball.
Okay.
And we were all comfortable in basketball shorts and a t-shirt.
Oh, I haven't heard this one. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what we chose. So when you see the Channel V Launchpad video, we're all wearing basketball shorts and a t-shirt. And
I had no idea.
Our drummer Srijan is actually even wearing a jersey, a basketball jersey.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that story. And yes, I know you're huge on basketball. Some sport.
Oh, not just me. I think all of us. Maybe not Srijan. Yeah. But the other three guys, me and the other two guys, we followed basketball through and through.
Yeah. That's awesome. And you had not just Launchpad, but I think you had some pretty decent success in that band Cyanide. And you were, just to let people know, you were the frontman, singer, guitar player, and primary songwriter, right?
Correct. Yes.
And you had some, and you guys had some pretty good success from what I remember.
Yeah, dude. And it's just really cool to think about it, because just today I did an interview where we were asked about the very first paid gig that I ever did. So, it got me, that was like way back. So it got me thinking about that. And, it just got me thinking about just every step of the way, how we rose in the ranks. And, how we went about getting those shows were that we would go to any local shows that were happening in New Delhi, no matter who it is. We'd find out, oh, there's a gig going on. And I mean, let's be honest, in 2002, 2003, there weren't too many, right? So we would go to the shows, and we had this little demo CD of ours. We had 4 songs on it. And that was it. 4 or 3, I think there were 3 or 4, I can't remember. But we had this one little demo CD that we'd made like hundreds of copies of. It was CDs, right? You could do it on your computer. So,
yeah.
And our bass player, he had designed the artwork, which we printed out on an A4 sheet and cut ourselves and slit into the CD jacket
the
cover.
Sleeve? Yeah.
Yeah, the sleeve. Yeah, so all 100 of them, or 200, I don't know how many there were, but we would go every single time there was a show. We'd go with a bunch of CDs. If not all of us, minimum 2 of us would go, and we just distribute our CDs. Hey, like we're this band called Cyanide, we'd love to play shows, give us a chance, We've been competing in competitions. We'd love to play an actual show. And then we came across this guy called Amit Sehgal, who was the owner and founder of Rock Street Journal,
right?
RSJ,
right?
And I think he got so sick of seeing us, because one day we actually just landed up at his office unannounced, and we're like, hey, in case the CD was corrupted, here's another one. And then he's like, oh, okay. okay, guys, sit down, have a seat. I have a couple of shows coming up. They're not going to be paid. Are you guys like, yes, we're cool with it.
Nice.
Let's do it. And then we impressed him. We impressed him that, that we're an actual band that can actually play live.
Mm-hmm.
And then we finally gave us like a paid gig. We were opening up for a band called Orange Street. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
Orange Street? No, I don't think so.
They were huge band, Orange Street. Yeah. So yeah, that was our first paid gig.
Wow. But even then you were very like a go-getter, if you will.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude, absolutely. Like every step of the way, we would jump on anything that came our way.
But I mean, you personally, like you've always been, ever since I've known you, just a very go-getter type of person.
Yeah, man. It's just that, look, I mean, like my dad always tells me that, look, dreaming big is great, but the best way to make your dreams come true is to wake up. Like you have to take action or nothing is going to happen. So what's the worst that'll happen? Someone's going to say no, but like you have to put yourself out there. You have to kind of, and that's what we did. And, we would keep playing these gigs and we would keep playing competitions as well. We kept doing both until, we had a fan base of our own to a point where we said, okay, we can stop playing competitions now. We can say no. So then we started saying no to competitions. And then before you knew it, we started to get asked to judge competitions maybe a year or two later. So that was a nice little transition. But I think I enjoyed a lot just being, making our records and being in the studio. Because I was never much of a smoker. I never used to, I smoked, cigarettes and stuff back in the day, but like not as much, as the other guys. And I would try to stay away from it. And that was to my advantage because every time the band would take a break while we're in the studio, I would sit back with our producer, this guy called Anupam Roy, and I would ask him stuff. Hey man, how you doing this? And how you doing that? And I think that was like my first introduction to the world of engineering and like studio and I never got it. I never got any of it. But I was always very, very intrigued by, oh my God, like he like did some shit with his mouse and he made these little waveforms go up and down, which was EQ. I had no idea. And then I'm like, oh dude, I need to study this. I need to like learn this, as a skill.
Yeah, because what happened, like after so many years of like a fair amount of success in the music scene, you kind of decided to switch gears and go into production, right? Yeah,
well, because the band had a lot of success. We toured multiple times all around the coury. Did the biggest festivals that there are in the country to do. We played all of them multiple times. And I think just touring really got to me. I couldn't handle it anymore. It was like, when you're with a group of people for so long and you're going city to city and you just, it's back to back and back to back. And, it gets to you after a while. And it's just, and I really love those guys. They're still like brothers to me. And to the point, like, I think we just, we would get really annoyed with each other by the end of each cycle, each tour. And, we want a little break. But just the whole thing just, really got to me after a while. I needed a break. Even though Indian bands, let me just put this out there, that Indian bands are very, very pampered. Not like bands in America. Bands in America have it rough, man. Indian bands are very pampered.
How so?
Well, I'll tell you, we used to have our flights paid for, our hotels paid for, our food paid for, and we used to get paid on top of that for each gig that we did. You understand?
Yeah.
Tell me one band in America that does that. Not even Metallica. They pay for everything, right?
It's a different business model. Like the way it's set up here is that you, as a band, or at least I only know a certain level.
Well, I'm talking about independent bands.
Yeah, okay. Independent bands, if you're local and you've not experienced like a big amount of success and nobody really knows you, the venues and bars and promoters, they have you buy in to a show. So you buy X number of tickets and you sell them, and either you keep all the profits after the ticket sales, like if after you sell 20, all the profits yours, or after you sell 20, maybe a certain percentage of the profits are yours. But it's definitely like a kind of pay to play kind of thing.
Exactly.
So but that's just how it is.
I only did, and I know you've done a lot of shows, in the US. I have just that one show under my belt, which was with the band Siren.
Siren? Oh, I remember that. This was on the Upper West Side.
It was the Upper West Side. Oh, or Upper East Side, one of the two, whatever.
Upper West Side, I'm pretty sure, because it was near a studio I had interned at. But what was it called?
Okay. And you had to go down these stairs, and then you take a left, and it was there. And I remember you actually really helped us out with our sound, because whoever was the sound guy, it was a girl actually, it was the sound girl. Mm-hmm. She had no idea what she was doing.
But what did I do? I don't think I did anything.
Oh, you did, because I remember you went because you went back and did something with the concert, because we were on stage. And I think
no chance.
Oh, 100%. I don't know if you actually did anything, but you 100% went back and told her to do something.
What I remember was you were doing sound check, about to perform, and you guys were like looking around like, where's the sound person?
Yes.
And then you looked at me as if I'm supposed to hop on the board and do something. Like,
but you see, but you see, in India, that's what we would have done. Because like local bands used to always have a friend who is off stage, who's hanging out on standby to do whatever they need to,
That was me that day.
That was you that day. So like we always had that one friend. And I've been that guy for a bunch of bands in the local circuit. How I joined this band, Half Step Down, I literally went up with them for some show, and they asked me to hop on the board to do sound. And I had no idea what I had no idea what I'm doing. I'm asking the guy, okay. I was literally just supervising. I'm like, hey, I need to make sure the drummer gets this. And I need to make sure he gets so.
Yeah, I do remember that show. I remember you guys were good. You were tight, you were entertaining, and I think there was a fair number of people, but that was the only show?
Only show, yeah.
Wow.
We did one show on the radio, and then we did one show with my friend who had that art studio.
Oh, I remember that. I didn't stay for that one.
Yeah, because we were a little late, and you had to leave. I remember, but that was basically my show, and the other guys just hopped on for like the last song or something.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? So that was your only show, and your experience was you had to pay to play, basically a ticket buy-in.
Pretty much. Well, we made $8 from the show.
Not bad. That was your dude. If that was your one and only show, that's a win. That's a win.
$8 spread amongst 4 people.
I'm pretty sure the first show I made $- I'm very sure.
Really?
Must have been like -100 or something. Like I basically paid out and I didn't barely made anything.
Well, see, the thing is that I have a lot of friends, and a place like New York City, you have a lot of Indians that live there. And just the kind of guy that I am, someone knows someone, and someone knows someone, and someone knows someone. And I had a lot of friends there. Neel is, like local, and he's from New Jersey. So he had a bunch of friends that showed up. I think Shailene's only friend was you. Sonia had a bunch of friends that showed up,
So you're saying I have no friends, basically, is what you're saying. Me and Shailene have no friends.
Hey, maybe me. Maybe
no,
just
it's
me.
true, dude. No, like, remember, this is something we talked about before. You know that I'm the kind of person who just does his thing, and then
And dude, that's worked for you. That's worked for
Right.
you. Look,
It does.
Everyone's personality is different. That's worked for you. I think I'm just maybe I'm just a little more tolerant of.
No, you're more outgoing. You're more extroverted, for sure.
Awesome. At times, I am very introverted because you and I have been roommates, and like you've seen how like sometimes I would kind of curl into my shell and like I probably won't leave the house for a week because I'm like I'm just taking a week off.
Right.
Because I'm very much like go, no breaks, and
then a long break.
I'll need like a week off or something.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of like me.
That's true. Yeah, that's what the scene is over here. Like you have a ticket buy-in, and then you're basically paying for, I guess like whoever rents out the venue and to pay whoever pays the headline act. So when we did Angel Vivaldi, which was the show you came to, we had a ticket buy-in, but I think we had made a decent fan base to the point where we actually turned a profit that night. But that money was going to paying the venue, the promoter, and the headline act, which was Angel Vivaldi, which is a pretty good show, I think.
He was great, dude. And I thought that was just a great show all in all. I actually really liked, all the acts that night. I thought it was a great show.
I thought it was a good show too.
And I thought you guys actually pulled in a lot of people because there were a couple of bands before you that didn't have too many. And then the difference between Mayaxic and Angel was not that much,
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome.
I noticed that too, but I think what I realized is that the people who came to save the people who were in front of the stage for Mayaxic were our fans plus Angel fans.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's why it probably looked more. But that kind of is what we're paying for at the end of the day, to kind of get in front of Angel Vivaldi's fans.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, dude, that's how we got recognized, by playing in front of bigger artists,
Yeah.
And then it's like, it's whether you impress them or not. Our first gig that we did for Orange Street, we actually got booed like crazy. And
really?
Yeah, we did. We really did. We didn't have too many songs. We did a lot of covers, and it wasn't a very good show. So all the shows we did for free before this, so it was, it was just a huge moment where we were like, oh my God, why did it have to happen on like the first gig?
Yeah.
But you suck it up and you move on.
Dude, oh my God, what was that like? Getting booed? That must have been devastating.
I mean, yeah, it was. And I remember there were a couple of songs where we had a female singer that would hop on for a couple of songs, and then I would go backstage. And I was literally sitting backstage with Orange Street sitting on the other couch, and this one girl walks in backstage who's friends with them, and she's just like, oh my God, who are these guys? They suck so bad.
Oh my God, no.
And I was just like, and I had to go right after that and put on a happy face and play the rest of the set. But the thing is, okay, we got nervous and, it wasn't a very good show. But then we rehearsed. And I think we had our next show a week later or something, and we killed it. I think the week after that, I think we opened for Parikrama.
Nice.
Probably. And their fans loved us, and like we just instantly, we were like accepted,
Nice.
So yeah, dude, it's just that's the way that you go about it. And I have a lot of respect for bands that go and they do the rounds and they climb up the ladder as opposed to just bypassing.
No, for sure.
I like that. I love the process. The process is good.
Oh, dude. This is what I tell all my students is like, you got to learn to love the process, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to keep going. You'll have wins, you'll have losses, but the process continues. If you're passionate about it, obviously. If you don't like it.
Oh, yeah. It all starts with that, I think. It all starts with that. I mean, I never thought that I would get so involved and so passionate about engineering. I really didn't, because I was just a hardcore singer-songwriter at the end of the day. And I never knew, it just happened. And I just fell in love with the process of making stuff, manipulating sound and all that stuff. And it's become so much just a part of me now. To the point that I just picked up this project recently with a band in Delhi called, not in Delhi, in India, called Junkyard Groove.
Yes, great band.
Yeah, great band. So I'm mastering their album right now.
That's awesome.
And I'm not a mastering engineer.
Right? Yeah, you told me.
I mean, like, I'm a mix engineer. I'm a producer. I'm a tracking engineer. I'm a mix engineer. But mastering is not, mastering, like, I've usually gone to you or sent stuff to you for mastering, or to Vinny or to Millis. You guys are the mastering guys, and I've just, never been. But, I heard the song and I kind of knew what I wanted out of the mix.
Mm.
And I was like, well, I can't manipulate individual things. So let me see what I can do with just achieving that vision as a whole.
Yeah.
And I did it. And I sent, and I really respect Millis. Off late, I've been working with him a lot, and he's just like, he's so great, man. He's
amazing. This is episode 3, and he's been mentioned 2 times. 2 out of the 3. Yeah, he was mentioned on Lee.
Who else? Oh, nice.
Or Blackheart Supreme, I'm sorry.
Yeah, nice. Supreme, my boy. Yeah. Dude, dude, he's awesome. And so I was like, so I hit him up and I'm like, hey man, like I just picked up this mastering gig and I'm doing this single, and if they like it, they're probably gonna give me the whole album. I'm like, can I just send it to you? I'll send you the mix and I'll send you my master, and give me some feedback. And he had pretty nice things to say about it. He's like, yeah, dude, you totally like killed it.
Oh my God, you do such good impressions of people. Wait till he sees this.
Yeah, dude. See, but the thing is, like, I respect his opinion so much that, like, he, like, coming from him, and I remember I've sent you like screenshots of him, like, saying good things about my mix because it means a lot to me. And, so I was like, oh, okay, well, Millis gave me like maybe a point here or there that he's like, yeah, you could probably try this. And I did, and it worked. Actually made it sound better. And I sent it to him. And Amit is the, the founder, lead singer, songwriter of Junkyard Groove. And he's like, dude, I love this. He's like, do the whole album, bro. Just do the whole album. I'm like, yeah, dude.
Dude, that's amazing. See, that's what I love. And I don't know if this is an engine room thing or like, just the people who we've been lucky to surround ourselves with, but this is what it's about, man. Like helping each other out and like, kind of feeding off each other's energy. There's a healthy amount of competition, like in a really positive way. Like it drives us to move forward and keep getting better. But at the end of the day, if your boy is moving up and he just needs like your high five or like your approval, what's it gonna do? Like, how's it gonna hurt you?
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. And I was so like just thankful that he was just so nice about it. Not only that, dude, like he gave me his whole chain. Like he's like, wow. Well, this is what I do, and these are the must do's, and these are the if you need to, these are the maybes.
See, a lot of people would consider that like, no, those are my secrets. No, you can't have them.
See, but that's the whole thing, dude. Like I've shared my whole mix template with my students and stuff. I've shared mixing, but they, at least for now, at least at this level, while they're still students, they still can't make a mix sound like the way I can, because there's something to be said about ear training in your ears and just the years of experience that it takes you to understand something. That's the key.
Yeah.
Like you can buy whatever, like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini for somebody who doesn't know how to drive a car. It's useless. Gotta know how to drive it.
It's just good to look at. Yeah, exactly. No, that's something I've always been a proponent of. It's like, the music industry and sound engineering in general is already a tough business. It's already not really, I don't want to say respected, but it's definitely a bit of a struggle to convince like your family and your friends that, hey, this is something I'm going to pursue professionally. It's not like a well-respected career like, a doctor, lawyer, but like, so we already have so many struggles as it is. So why not help each other and educate each other and all move up together,
Absolutely, man. Like I'm of the same mindset, everyone has helped me along the way. And I'm the same way. I'm very open about just sharing whatever I know. Like, dude, there's enough musicians to go around. There's enough work to go around. And
Totally.
and like I think just by helping each other up, I think we can bring the industry to another level, bring it up overall, and just get engineers a little more respect that they deserve just by helping people out. That's what I believe.
Yeah. It was definitely a common thing at Engine Room for everybody to help each other out.
Oh my God, yes.
Lee and I were talking about a time when the room, like the entire room just shut down. And he called downstairs to the interns.
The mess? Oh shit.
He called down to the interns and he's like, yo, where's Jeet at? And he's like, oh, he just left. And he's like, oh my God. And he calls me and he's like, yo, you got to come back. I'm sorry. This whole thing just dropped, my bro. Yeah, we always used to help each other out. I mean, I remember Bader, he helped me out a lot because he knew that board in and out. He just knew everything about the SSL.
He created the MES cert test.
That's so true.
Yeah, dude. I mean, oh, dude, he's such a great engineer. I learned a lot from Bader as well. A lot. Yeah.
He seemed to know everything about the technical side of it. He used to know how to like use the floating knobs, all kinds of tricks and routings and stuff. It's like, what?
I just thought of, just a couple of examples of when I was a student, and Bader, he kind of locked into the fact that I'm serious about this. You know, at some point he locked into it. Okay, like this is a guy that's actually, because I used to send him mix for feedback and stuff, which I don't think any other student did, or like not too many students did.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he wasn't my teacher, like one-on-one teacher, right? So like one time, like I remember we were in an observation and I asked Bader a question. I can't remember what it was, but he liked the question and he was engaged in answering it. And one other guy was just standing right next to him and he's like, yo, all this is cool, but when are we gonna make some beats, like when are we gonna like, and I remember Bader just like, that dude couldn't see Bader's face because he's standing behind him and Bader was looking at me and Bader was just like, like his eyes rolled so far back and he's just like, yeah, I'm answering a question right now, so just hold the fuck down.
Oh my God. So many good times. Yeah,
Bader, he didn't make any bones about, for people who didn't get it. And I respect that, dude, because it's like, know
your shit.
He knows his shit, and he just, and like you can tell for the people, because there were a lot of students that really were not there for engineering. They were there to be artists and connect and network with people,
which is fair.
Which is fine. No problem with that. But when we're in an engineering thing, and if somebody's asking an engineering questions, me personally, I would, give a little more attention to the engineering guys. Simply because I'm like, well, dude, I know you want to network, but you're not going to do it in this particular class.
No, of course, there's a time and place for everything. I have no problem networking. Dude, I mean,
exactly.
It's called recording connection. I mean, come on.
Oh, dude. And better than anybody, I use the connection part of it.
Totally. Yeah.
Dude, of course, dude, because I remember when I got done, I applied for an internship to a bunch of studios in New York, and I did not get selected in a bunch of them, but I got selected in one. I can't remember which one, and I got through. And then I had an on-call internship at Engine Room, which basically.
Wait, how did this happen? Yeah, you had asked me, right? Like your program is coming to an end.
Yeah.
And,
so you asked me, you're like, yeah, man, just send me like your, send me your resume or whatever.
By the way, I barely ever read those shit.
Oh yeah, neither did I. Like when I became in the position to hire interns, I didn't read them either. But no, but I remember I was like, resume, like I haven't done anything. I'm just a fucking student. What do you want me to say? I was like, okay. So I basically wrote all the music shit, all the cyanide shit, basically, and all, my solo project. But I remember I didn't hear from you for like maybe 3-4 months. And then I went back to India for like a month or something. And then I heard back from, oh God, man, I'd like to say it was Flux Studios or Manhattan Beach recording.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those studios. I heard back from one of them saying that, yeah, come in. We're looking for interns, so come in. Your resume looks good or whatever. And then I got an email from you while I was still in India saying, hey, you've been selected for an on-call internship. And then I kept struggling with, oh man, do I want to be on call or do I want to be like a regular intern? But I was like, you know what? I've kind of already made some connections at Engine Room. I might want to just bank on those. And, I might just get a regular internship if I'm just good as an on-call. And so I said no to the other studio and I came on board to Engine Room. And the thing with the other, I wanted to do both, but the thing with the other studio was that it was like 5 days a week. It was like a full-term internship. Like you got to be here.
Yeah.
But it was unpaid. So, but I was like, okay, like if it's unpaid, why not keep your options open? So, and then it actually worked out because you were the operations manager. So what happened was on my first day as an on-call, there was some guy named Ariel, some kid named Ariel who basically wrote the email on the on-call group saying that, hey, can somebody cover my shift? And I'm like, yeah, I'll cover your shift. And the day I came to cover his shift, he quit.
Really?
So he called you and quit. So I remember you called me aside and you're like, hey man, do you want his shifts? Like he just quit. So if you want like a regular shift, his shifts are yours. I'm like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it.
I don't remember this at all.
Oh yeah, dude, I remember it. Believe me, I remember it because I was the intern looking for a fucking job.
Honestly, I don't remember Ariel. I do remember the name. I don't remember why he quit, if he quit. I don't remember any of this.
Oh yeah, I don't remember because I never met him, obviously. It was some guy named, I didn't even know that it was a guy, first of all, because I thought, after watching Little Mermaid, I thought Ariel's a girl's name. And we just texted, right? We just texted. So I had no idea what this person sounds like.
Right.
Because all the while I'm like, oh yeah, Ariel called in sick or something, and I'm just covering for her. And Leonard's like, Ariel's a guy. Leonard's like, Ariel's a guy. Because Leonard was acting GA that day. Leonard was still an intern. Leonard was covering for Mondo.
Wow, this is a lot of, I don't know how you remember all this, but that's amazing.
I in general have a pretty good memory about
I in general have a horrible memory, and all my students know that too.
I know.
I mean, you obviously know, but yeah, so you came in the first day, you took a chance on the on-call thing, and the first day it kind of paid off, which is very lucky, but it actually worked out well.
Actually, it is. I've never seen it happen after me, ever.
It worked out really well, but you're also a really good intern. And I remember you were always hanging around people and trying to learn more and more.
Yeah.
You used to be religious about learning. I remember you were so committed to the process. I remember that very clearly.
Yeah, dude, because I used to stay back after my shifts just to help out to set up bumpables
Mhm.
for other interns or other GAs or anybody. I used to help stay back with you and Shailene when you were doing drum tracking
Drums.
shit. Because I used to be like, oh, dude, do you mind if I just stay back and learn? And like, I'll set up for you. I'll break down. I'll do everything, you know. And I was just there because I'm like, fuck it, dude. You're here. Might as well learn. Like I came. I didn't fucking come here to make coffee. Yes, I understand that's part of the process. You got to clean bathrooms. You got to do this, and you got to go for runs. You got to do all that shit. But that's while you're on shift, right? That's your way in. What do you do after your shift? Are you gonna go home and watch Netflix? Because then you haven't progressed.
Yep.
You haven't moved forward. You're still there. You know, I
Yeah.
was like, well, there was an intern that I'm not gonna name that
Oh no. I know who you're talking about. Oh, I feel so bad, but dude, like, how many? What, a year? How long was he an intern?
I don't know, a while.
2 years?
And I was
Oh
just
my
like, well,
God.
why aren't you, you know? I mean, dude, I have mad love for the guy. I love the guy. He's awesome.
Well, love is
And
a
I wish
strong
him-
word, but I know what you mean.
No, I mean, he's a great guy. You know, we're boys. But,
I think
you know,
he's a really cool. I think he's a nice person, and I think he's a really cool guy. But yeah, you're right. It's like,
But you know, but you know, some people have less of a drive. Some people, like how you say, some people are extrinsically motivated, and there are others that are intrinsically motivated, right? I consider myself as somebody who is intrinsically motivated. Like I motivate myself. I saw that, hey man, I'm here on a visa that's valid for 3 years. I have to come here and I gotta do whatever I gotta do in this limited time.
that pressure.
And yeah, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if I have to go back to India. I don't know if I'm gonna stay here. All I know is that I'm here now, here and now in this big ass studio where fucking people like 50 Cent get their shit done. Trey Songz get their stuff done. Anderson .Paak, like all these people, Zoe Kravitz, like all these huge ass fucking artists are coming in and making music. And I'm like, well, this is it.
Yeah.
This is your door in. And if you don't make the most of it, it's nobody else's fault but your own.
Yep. Definitely taking on that responsibility.
You can either stay there in the front and just keep playing pool with the rest of the interns, or you can make shit happen.
Yeah.
Not to say that we didn't play pool. I played a lot of pool but I would grab onto opportunities. And like, I've stepped over some engineers once in a while. Like I've gone to Scott, just been like, hey man, like I know you assigned this session to this engineer, but I honestly think I'm the better engineer for this particular artist. And you know what? I didn't always get the session, but the point is that I at least fought for it. And, and that's not to say that I was trying to step over somebody. I just genuinely thought that, that, hey, look, I'm not saying take away this session from this engineer. All I'm saying is that consider me maybe for the next session, because I genuinely think that I vibe with this artist, and, this artist vibes with me. And I genuinely think that I can, help this artist. They would usually be singers. Like very rarely that I don't think I've ever gone and said that about a rapper, because I didn't know too much about hip hop. I was not, that clued in about hip hop. I think just as I started to understand hip hop, I moved back to India.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think what you're trying to say is that because the studio was primarily a hip hop thing, whenever like a singer-based artist came in, you felt the need. Yeah, you felt the need to say like, hey, just so you know, like I know I'm not like too well versed in the hip hop world, but this is something I can really crush, and I want to prove myself to you, like that. So the next time a singer type of person comes in, please consider me. That's a fair.
And a lot of those times, Scott actually gave me a chance, and that artist ended up sticking with me because, look, I knew it, because I was like, dude, my concept of vocal harmonies is very strong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's something that artists, you know, are looking for, and they're like, they need some sort of guidance that they want. These are young artists, and I've been an artist and I've been there, you know. So I was like, that dude, I have that edge over other engineers who are maybe 18 years old and, you know,
Starting
whatever,
out,
who basically got assigned the session because they were on shift that day. You understand? Like, you understand the difference? It's like, I was never trying to step over somebody else's work or anything like that, but I would go out and try to get the artist for the next session, because I'm like, that dude, like, why the hell not? You know?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. You're way more of a extroverted kind of person, like, or not even extroverted, but like you're definitely like this go-getter type of like like trying to make it happen kind of thing. It's definitely been you ever since I've known you. It's like very, very, very driven, and I relate to that. I mean, maybe I'm not. I don't know if I'm as driven as you, but I definitely overwork myself a lot, and I do love the work for sure.
Yeah.
But that's something I think you and I had, like, at least I felt when we first started connecting. Like, I felt that you and I both had a very, very strong drive. Like, no matter like how late it goes, no matter how long it takes, no matter this or that, it's like, let's just do it. Let's
just do it.
Yeah, like we were very driven.
Like, you remember the video for the cover, the news cover?
Oh man, that was, to this day, that is one of the single best pieces of content or art, or whatever you want to call it, I've ever made in my life. And the thing is that when you I had a feeling even before we finished it, just based on the people who I knew, who I wanted involved in it, I had a feeling like this is gonna be pretty cool. Like Trevor, dude, you,
oh man,
Shailene, me, that's all you need. That's all.
That's like,
that's
and
the
the
dream
fact
team.
that we had members from Periphery actually posting our video on their page was pretty awesome, man. Like, that was like,
yeah, I think that's really nice of them to do that. That was,
and
really
like,
cool.
and you met Matt Halpern after the fact, and he commented on the video.
Yeah, he liked it. He said it was top notch, and he was saying that, like, this is the level you should be operating at all the time. Like, now you know you can do it. Now you can't do anything less. And I thought that was pretty awesome of him.
And I agree, man. I agree, dude. Like, you know, sometimes I take long to put out music because I'm not happy with where I'm at with the product, you know. And I've gotten lucky in the last couple of months. I've been, knocking out song after song. Well, we did the By Chance, the 3 songs, the trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that we did. I'm super proud of those. They sound great, you know. Something that I still listen to even now. And I'm just like, yeah.
Hello, there is one song.
No!
I love that song. I don't know why we never put it out.
Well, it just didn't have a place in the message that we were putting out.
I think it would have been a nice little epilogue to the story.
Well, I mean, we can always put it out later, but we have to mix that song again. Can't go out with
I think we might have to just redo a lot of that song. But I love it. That is the first time.
Well, Shailene doesn't even like the lyrics. I don't mind the lyrics. Okay, so that song is very much something like what I would have written for Cyanide. In fact, we've written a song like that called Animal, which is like very similar type. Very similar. That's Animals.
Oh, okay.
This is Animal.
Okay.
Different type of lyrics. It's like, but very similar theme, if you know what I mean.
See, the thing is, I think I got so excited by it because I've never in my entire life written a song about that topic.
Oh, like, really?
Ever.
Oh, that makes sense.
So the fact that
I've written a lot.
That might say something, but that
speaks volumes.
But that like it was such a thrill to do it because I had never talked about that kind of topic, and it just felt like yeah, just the thrill of doing something for the first time. And I think that's why I like the song. And it's
No,
not me, man. It's so, well, it's not me, but it's like, it's a part of me that I don't talk about so much. So it's really cool to just like reveal it a
no,
little
dude, I agree. I think it's a cool song. I have nothing against
bit.
anything. I just don't like the mix. I'd like to mix it again. You know what I mean? And hey, I'm down to actually put it out now as like a new by chance single.
I don't think Shailene wants that,
Well,
which
see
is fair.
that's a bigger question. Obviously, if you have one band member out of three who doesn't like it, we can't put it out, right?
Well, that's because we agreed when we started the band, like it's equally divided. Everybody
Absolutely, and like
has their opinion.
of course, and we want that everyone should be happy at the end of the day.
Yes, yeah. And the thing was that this song, even though we started writing it with Shailene, I don't know why, but maybe he had moved to Tulsa or something, but you and I actually finished it.
Wrote the whole song, actually. Yeah.
Not even finished it. I guess we had written the riff.
We started and wrote the songs ourselves.
I think Shailene was there, right? For the
No,
beginning?
but even his drum parts, you were pretty much guiding him what to do. We have video evidence of that.
Mm,
You know,
I don't
like
remember that. The
I
snare
mean,
accents. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
look, I mean, dude, I'm the first one to say Shailene's, I think, the best songwriter out of the three of us. I think so.
No,
Okay?
no, I won't say that.
No, I think he's fucking brilliant. He's just not very forthcoming about his music, and I don't know why. I think he thinks it's too cheesy or whatever. I think he's self-conscious about his own. But dude, I Will Be on the Siren EP, Violet Skies. That's my favorite song on that
That's
whole
a
EP.
pretty, yeah, I really like that song as well.
That's all
beautiful.
him. That's
I don't know if
him.
I don't know if I ever told you this story, and this might actually be a good little throwback, but when I started doing that whole studio thing with Jam in India, so my parents, you know, they don't know sound engineering, they don't know audio, music, or anything, and it's always been like a point of contention between me and them. It's like, you know, why do you have to intern? Like, why are you doing this? Why don't you work for this company, that company? Like, no, you know, we just gotta make small moves. No, I gotta intern. No, I got a GA or whatever. And like, so it was always a point of contention because they never knew better. Like, they don't know, you know, what music life is or audio life. So I remember the first time I took them to that studio, I played my mom, I Will Be. And she started to get tears in her eyes. She started tearing up and she was like, wow, is this what you do? Like, she loved that song. She really loved it.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
Yeah. So Shailene, you, Sonia, like, you guys did a fantastic job with that EP.
Yeah, man.
I remember you and I mixed it, right? You and I basically sat.
You mixed it. I didn't do anything. I was just watching you mix it, basically. I was just trying to learn.
This was in the mastering room. I remember.
Yeah, it was on Thanksgiving.
Yes. Everybody was home, just enjoying Thanksgiving, and we were in the studio knocking out this EP.
Yeah, dude. And like, I was just either I was still a student or I had just finished being a student, one of the two at the time. It was somewhere on the cusp of those things. And, you know, obviously I was still trying to learn. So I was just like sitting next to you, just kind of watching what you were doing.
Yeah.
And I remember you did a couple of things which blew my mind that day, which was like, yeah, and which are now like very second nature to me. Like things like automating the reverb, for example, or EQing the reverb, for example. Those are things that I would never have thought of. You understand? But it's like now it's so second nature. It's part of my template. You know, not the automation, but at least the EQ is part of the time. And I sometimes even go and compress those channels because I would put an SSL. I put an SSL channel strip on every single individual track, right? Including the reverbs and the delays. So sometimes I would go in compress those as well, just, and they have a different flavor, and sometimes they just do what needs to be done for that particular moment in that particular
Well,
song.
see, that's the thing. It's like, yes, you picked up my method of either, whatever, drums, reverb, but then as you start to do it more, you develop your own method of doing things. And that's the point.
And the fun thing is that it keeps changing.
Yeah.
It keeps evolving. And I think that's what keeps it fun. Because if I was to just keep doing it the same way, then it's like, but you got to keep mixing it up. You got to keep trying different plugins. You got to keep trying different approaches towards achieving certain targets. And for example, like I said, I would put an SSL on everything. Now I've started to put a Neve on the drums and the bass, and an SSL on everything else.
Interesting.
There's just something about how a Neve reacts to low end, low end information. Because Neve gives you second harmonics, and an SSL gives you third harmonics. So there are, it's a different tone. At the end of the day, it's very subliminal, but it changes the emotion. Like if you were to play, a major chord or a sus second chord, that changes the emotion of that chord. And that's the same thing. That's the difference between these two consoles.
Dude.
And, and there's something different in the way that they react, So now it's like I would start with putting the whole drums and the bass on a Neve. And if that's not working, I'd slowly start putting everything back to an SSL and maybe just keep the kick and the snare on a Neve. Nice. And sometimes those transients that run through, because in the drums, it's the kick and the snare that's your driving factor, right? And it's just made a huge difference. And I learned that from Jason Joshua, right? I learned that from Jason Joshua on just watching Mix with the Masters. I've never met him. But doing, so I learned a lot of mixing from Michael Brower.
Yeah, tell us about that Mix with the Masters whole seminar or whatever it was.
Oh man, it's life-changing. It's just unbelievable. Dude, I felt like I was back in like high school or something, because like it was like our sessions would start at like 8 a.m. We had to be at breakfast at like 7:30. Eat, and if you don't get there, you don't eat. That's it. Fucking, you get there, and then you gotta be. And if you're not there on time, they don't let you in. So it's like, be there.
Yeah.
Dude, he's so hardworking, and he's just like, go. Like, and sometimes like we would get like, oh man, we've been sitting here like for so long. And he would just be like, no, go. It was amazing, man, just to, and like we really thought we were going to get all kinds of technical information. But the fact of the matter is that you have to submit mixes to apply for the seminar, right? So I got accepted, and so they want to assume that your technical know-how is at a certain point already. So he doesn't want to have to fucking tell you what EQ means or what compression means, right? Like, you should know that shit. Mm-hmm. You should know what phase means. You should know all that shit. He was really focusing on an emotional aspect of mixing. It's just like how like the story, the story of the song is what's the most important thing. And that's what never changes, just the story of the song. And how would you enhance that? And it's not something that you can quantify. It's something that you just feel. You either get there or you don't. And I think first I would try to listen to different plugins that do the same thing. I would try to listen to them from a technical point of view. But now I try to listen to them from an emotional point of view. Like, just like the difference between an LA2A and an 1176, for example. Like they do two different things. One is an opto compressor, one is a FET compressor. So now that's the technical know-how. Cool. Whoopie-doo, right? But what does that mean for the whole fucking song? What does that mean? And that is what cannot be quantified. You just have to try both of them and see what works. Yes, I mean, of course, little technical know-how is important. 1176 in general is faster, and LA2A in general is slower. So if you want something where you want the transients to cut through, you'll probably use an LA2A. If you want to control the transients, you probably use an 1176. So I guess it's the balance of those two, man.
That's so interesting because, like, I think, especially over the last couple of years now, there's been a major shift towards like a technical infatuation with all these plugins and software and, you know, gear, and that's awesome. And like, if you know that, like, you're spouting off all this stuff now, that's an amazingly powerful tool to have. But we can never forget that we have to take it a step beyond that and tell a story to people. That's so powerful.
That is. But that being said, I don't think I could have made decisions as fast as I do if I didn't know the technical stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, if I didn't geek out about the, you know, the Fairchilds and the LA3As and the this and the that, and, you know, I don't think I would have been able to make quick decisions.
Totally.
To try to achieve
it's a balance, right? It's a balance.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Like for me, the API Vision console, like that console is what works for guitars for me. The end. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, and hey, man, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's like, I love the sound of an API on guitars, both acoustic and electric. You know, I love those API 550 EQs. You know, so it's just, I don't know. It's just you have certain preferences, but it's good to know those preferences, because when you know that this is something that this particular thing is lacking, oh, cool. Oh yeah, that's what it needs. Boom, go and do it.
Just jump on it, right? Yeah,
go and do it, and then move on.
You know, I don't use templates, like session templates. Okay. And it kind of goes to the point that you said, where it's like, it's good to know the technical stuff, but it's like you want to try new things every time. And I think I do it because like every time I set up a session, I'm curious if I'll do it differently. Like I'll change one plugin or one setting.
That's cool. That's cool.
It takes longer though.
Right. So I have a template, and I usually have, so by now, I kind of have 2 or 3 options for certain things, right? So in my template, all the plugins will be inactive, and I'll just make them active one by one and audition them and see what works. For example, like I have a very fixed mix bus sort of chain, right? You know, I hit a little EQ, do a little subtractive EQ, which is kind of what should be done on the mastering level, but I do a little bit on the mix as well. Then it would hit the SSL-G bus compressor. That is just, it's a go-to for me. That's a permanent fixture.
It's not going anywhere. Amazing compressor.
Yeah, that's not going anywhere. Then I would either, so now here's where there is the either or that would come. I would either hit the Shadow Hills mastering bus compressor or the Manley Very Mu, right? It's either this or that, and it's mostly the Shadow Hills, but the Very Mu is like a pretty close second. Like I would say it's 60-40.
What makes you decide between Either or.
I close my eyes and I keep
Maybe them?
unbypassing and bypassing, and I keep auditioning.
Huh.
I have both the plugins open, and I'll bypass, unbypass, bypass, unbypass. I'd like just keep moving.
Gotcha.
And
Okay, so yeah.
yeah,
It's not like a I use this for rock and I use this for electronic. It's just like whatever works for this song.
whatever works for the song.
Right.
Exactly. Right. Like to the point that when I would have like my assistants do it, I would tell them to bypass and unbypass, and I would have my eyes closed. And I'd tell them which one I like, and I'll tell them to stop. And then it'll either be the Shadow Hills or
Wow.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about the Shadow Hills.
Oh, dude, it's amazing, and we have two of them now. Now there's a Class A version that's been released as well. I don't really like that one, to be honest. Like I'm just a fan of the original Shadow Hills. Yeah, but whatever. It's free. It's included in the whole plugin alliance bundle. So why not, right? Yeah. Then I would hit and then I would either go to the Brainworks, the V3, the stereo, a stereo or mid-side EQ, the Brainworks V3. That, or now I have the SSL Fusion box.
Right. That sounds amazing.
So I would probably hit that now.
Yeah.
So, but even now, there have been times where the V3 has sounded better than the Fusion. And then I'll just turn the Fusion off. Then it'll be completely in the box. So yes, I do love having that little analog box because it does add a little bit of charm and stuff to it. Or I would use both, but I just won't use the EQ on the Fusion, and I'll probably just use the widener and the space.
It's basically options.
Depth. Yeah. Depth, man.
It's just options. You have all different kinds of options.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. And and there's some engineers that'll tell you all kinds of technical shit why this is better than that, and I'm just like, hey man, this just feels better. That's it. There's no technical reason.
There might be a technical reason, but at the end of the day, it has to feel good. It has to.
Yes.
That's why we're doing this, right?
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
Dude. Yeah, man, that news cover is like, again, I just put that up there as like one of the best things that I was a part of. Like to work with you, like you, Shailene, and Trevor, like top line musician, hardworking people. Like I was so honored to like do one solid project with you guys.
Oh, dude, dude, the honor was all ours, man. I think it was so much fun just doing it, just that whole process of even recording the guitars. I remember we freestyled a little bit in certain sections on the guitar, and it worked, and it was just
your vocal harmonies, like I don't know, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you like planned them out. I think we were in the studio and you just laid them down.
I never plan out harmonies. I tried. I mean, I would have an idea in my head what they would sound like, but I do like to try to hit them on the spot, and then sort of be like, oh, let's try that, or let's try this, and then it works out.
Do you know if the harmonies you did are the same as the original, or you just kind of riffed on the moment?
I don't know. I haven't compared. I just riffed on the moment, but maybe they're similar.
Yeah. I mean,
close.
How many things can you do, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I think that's because I grew up listening to a lot of bands that do vocal harmony. And that was my foundation for music. I grew up listening to Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson and the Beatles. And that was like my foundation for, vocal harmony. Those are the records that we had. And it's so crazy to hear those records and to hear records today. And like how different they sound, and just how like this technology has grown. It's so amazing. Yeah.
I think
so
Yeah.
I'm actually doing this song for Nacro Bourgeois, Jeremiah Hosea's band. And I've made my mix, like just the, what's the word I'm looking for here? Just the mix, the ideology behind the mix, very old school Beatles oriented.
Nice.
I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna like it or not, but let's see. But what I've done is like the old school Beatles. All the drums are on the left.
I see.
And all the vocals are on the right.
Wow.
I
hate that.
I know. But dude, here's the thing about being a good mix engineer and just being a good producer is, especially if you're not doing it for your own music, you have to mix according to the artist. You have to figure out where this guy is coming from. And Jeremiah is all about the weird. He's all, dude, and which is why working with him makes it so much fun, because he's never afraid to try something weird, and sometimes that ends up being the coolest fucking thing about that record, dude.
No, I get it.
He's always about, try to distort the fuck out of that. And, there's one song that we're doing, again, I don't know if it's going to stick that ways or not, but we're in the middle of mixing a couple of songs right now in his whole album. So one song has got like a fucking flanger on the vocals all the way through. And it's just, it's weird. It's not in your face, but his music is unique and it's different. And like, I don't want it to sound like a Rohan Solomon or a By Chance record, right?
Right.
So I think that's just like, you have to cater to the artist, even just being a fucking tracking engineer. Part of the reason why every time I would get assigned a client or a session at Engine Room, they would want to stick with me, is because when the artist would walk into one of my sessions, I would have at least spoken to them or someone from their team a little bit about what they want, well, music related and also not music related, like, hey, do they like coffee? Do they like tea? If they like coffee, I'll have, like that silver jug thing that you press, I'd have that filled with coffee. If they like tea, I'd have it filled with hot water. And, I'd have like fucking tea bags over here. I'd fucking fill donuts, like plates of donuts on the thing. If they're healthy people, I'd fill celery or something. But the fact is, when they walk in, like even the fact that the cushions are laid out on the corners of the fucking couch, not in the center, so that when they sit down, they don't have to sit down and move the cushion from behind them. You understand? But it's these little, oh, somebody just paid me on Venmo. Oh, Jeremiah, long life. Holy shit.
What the hell?
I swear to God, Jeremiah. It's just okay.
Oh my God. That's so
Isn't
crazy.
that crazy? That's
oh
so
my
crazy.
God, it's freaky, dude.
It is. Well, I mean, like, he uses his wife's account. So, but yeah. Okay. So, but yeah, dude, but it's these little things, man. Like, okay, the artist walks in, they have something to eat, they have something to munch on, they got their coffee or their tea or whatever. If they want fucking alcohol, there'll be alcohol there, right? Like me and Scott had that understanding. When I became, production manager, we had that understanding. Hey man, like, if I need something from your office, is it cool? He's like, yeah, it's all good. Because I was bringing in business, I was keeping them there, so that's it. Like, and like, I would send this picture to all of the interns, all of the GAs, and especially anyone who ever assisted me in any session. Let me try to find it. It's right here. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but this is
interesting. So it's like basically showing how you would like the room to look when an artist enters.
Yeah, like look at even the cushions in the back, dude. They're on the corners.
That's interesting. I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, every single session. So and that is the reason why people would keep requesting me. Premium Pete, fucking Lissa, all the podcast people that I did, all the artists that came and recorded. Every time they would come, they would finish their projects with me, you know, and that's pretty much the reason why. It's like, Mark used to say this thing over and over and over again, but no one fucking listened. That dude, like, and Mark used to say this, correct me if I'm wrong, but he said it in these exact words that, you know, that, yeah, you know, like we're not really in the business of recording, like we're in the business of good sandwiches.
Yeah,
right?
It's all about the fucking sandwiches.
It's all about the fucking sandwiches. And now to me, sandwiches could mean tea or donuts.
It's a service industry. Yeah,
it's
totally.
a service industry. Yes.
Right. Catering to the artist. That's a big thing. Like, not depending on what the artist wants, obviously, right? Like, what are the goals of the artist? But like, not pushing your ideas and your style onto them too much. Like for example, Jeremiah, he likes to get out there, but that works for him. And if you can deliver that, then he's going to keep coming back to you and you'll form a really strong relationship with that artist. It's very true.
Oh, dude. And I've already got a really good relationship with him going. In fact, we've been talking about doing some stuff post this record as well.
Nice.
You know, and I was super thankful to him because I was like, dude, I really appreciate the fact that you stuck with me even though I moved to another country. You understand? So that is, I think, what engineering is really about. All the techno shit, everyone can talk about that.
Right.
Everyone can, you know, learn key commands. Everyone can do all of that stuff. Yes. Does it help to be fast? Of course. That's why I used to love to have Frank as my assistant back in the day, and then Christian later, because they knew all the key commands and they were fast.
Right.
If you weren't fast, if you were asking me stuff in the middle of the session, like, I'm sorry, I didn't really want you there.
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
You know,
but that wasn't the driving force or motivation that artists came to.
No. So those assisting projects would usually be for stuff that I was producing, the stuff that I was vocal producing, or the stuff that I was actually producing. So where I didn't mind taking a step back from Pro Tools and actually focusing on the song, and where I trusted this guy to, you know, do what he needs to. And if I needed to communicate with the singer, then okay, if I need to get out of the chair, then yeah, this person is capable to sit on the chair and run Pro Tools like I would run Pro Tools. That's all. You know?
Like an assistant.
Yeah, like an assistant. Basically, even an assistant job is like, don't run Pro Tools how you would run Pro Tools. Right. Run Pro Tools how I would run Pro Tools. Because when I'm editing this fucking project, I want it to look like I've recorded this.
Yeah, that's so true. Didn't we do that with like the by chance stuff? Like, I had a very specific template for drums. I was like, hey man, just don't fuck with this. This is the way I like drums.
But see, I had to learn how to work around that. So what I started to do was, you would send me Pro Tools sessions, and then I would export those drums, and I would just start my own Pro Tools session.
Yeah.
And then whatever you did, those were committed. Right. And any little EQ or anything that I had to do on top of that would just be additional EQ, right? So that worked. That worked for me.
I hate your colors. I can't look at your Pro Tools session because like
Why?
your drums are some like red and your
but drums are always red.
No, drums are brown.
No,
like
no
this,
way.
Buddy, like this.
No. For me, what are browns? Horns and strings, like orchestral stuff. That's brown.
What is that?
I can't believe even I'm also doing this. Fuck you.
I think for me, orchestral stuff is either yellow or purple. Like,
yeah, what do you make blue? What's blue for you? Fucking vocals?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Vocals are pink. Vocals
no.
are pink.
Oh, why?
Yes.
Why are they pink?
Vocals are pink and backing vocals are purple.
No. Drums are brown because brown is like the foundation, the soil, and vocals are blue like the sky because they sit. No. See, that's why I can never look at your sessions. It just confuses me.
Hey man, good for you.
But you know the cool thing that I realized the other day, it's like we have a very similar plugin collection. I think you have much more than me because you've gone really deep down that technical, rabbit hole.
Oh, I use way more plugins. Yeah, you're very minimalistic as far as plugins go.
I prefer getting as much done in the tracking phase and then minimal stuff in the mixing.
But I'm also
phase.
mixing a lot of stuff that I haven't produced.
Right. So you have to. You have no choice.
Yeah.
But I realized that like we could like basically trade up. Like I could send you a Pro Tools session and you could probably open up pretty like 99% of the way there, right?
Oh, I think 100%. I think because we share a UAD account, so any UAD
plugin buddy, that might not be a good thing to say in public.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Whatever. Let's just say we have a business called Synergy Audio Productions, and that
we do have a business called Synergy Audio.
And that's what has the UAD.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
Possibly. Yes.
So what's up with Synergy? What's up with this institute? Talk about that.
Well, it was all under construction. The school and the studio that's going to be in the school was under construction. And then we got hit with COVID.
So, well, no. Go back a little because some people might not even know what Synergy Audio Pro is.
Synergy Audio Institute, it's primarily based in New Delhi, India. Although we are starting up with online classes now. Actually, they're up and ready. We're actually about to do like an ad post. Just kind of, posting and telling people about it. So we're going to do that in maybe next week or something. So it's essentially just all about audio engineering and music production. And you can choose 3 different DAWs. The ones that we're offering right now is Pro Tools, Ableton, and Logic. But we have also broken down the whole syllabus into different modules. Just in the event that, for whatever reason, like you don't want to learn about microphones and you only want to learn mixing, for example, we have a module if you want to do that. We have a module if, you already know how to mix on whatever DAW you're using, but you kind of just want to learn the basics of audio, just the physics of sound, right? Sound waves. There's a module for that. So the ones that we offer is there's sound theory, which is the basic, basics of sound, basics of audio. Then there's music production, which is very generic, and it goes into a little bit of music theory, it touches a little bit on music theory. Then it talks about just strategies of production, and that's less theoretical and more taught on the basis of workshops, So we'll have different producers and, teachers that come and they would sort of just present their style of mixing. So that could be, like stuff that you and I like know and we take for granted, things like, that, okay, if you want a really nice fat kick for an electronic, like EDM song or something, you'd probably have like 3 kicks, which are EQ'd differently, that form together into that one fat kick that you hear. That maybe somebody that's doing this at home who's never taken a lesson or done anything, maybe doesn't know that. So things like that, things like, and this is a chance for people to actually kind of learn some really cool VSTs, learn about some really cool plugins and how you form a song together. So we go over songwriting, we go over different, structures of songs that you would use, how you would structure and organize stuff. And then we go into a little bit about tracking and MIDI, right? So that is what you need to produce a song. That does not include mixing, right? So, you learn a little bit about tracking, your key commands and everything, just to get everything going. Learning a little bit about making a tracking template, and then learning MIDI, just to get all your MIDI information down and how you would manipulate all of that. A lot of that will also be taught through workshops in case somebody wants to produce, like program drums, for example. We can teach them through Superior Drummer. Like if I'm doing the workshop, I'll teach through Superior Drummer. Like if somebody else uses GGD, for example, they can use GGD or whatever. They're all the same. It's just the sound libraries are different. The concept of using one of these, if you know one of them, you know all of them, right? Then we go to a module which is all about microphones and mic placement. So that's our shortest module. It doesn't take too long because we cover all the different types of microphones, and then the different placement strategies. But what's fun about this particular module is all the practical exercises, all the observation stuff, like actually getting into the studio and, doing different exercises, like getting a vocalist to sing the same verse or whatever on 3 different microphones. One could be a condenser, one could be dynamic, one could be a ribbon, and just hear just the basic tonal difference. And, and obviously a lot of them won't be able to hear that up front, but, they can hold on to those files and they can hear them a year later and see if you can actually tell the difference and stuff like that. Yeah.
So these are all like different modules that people can pick and choose?
Yes. These are all different modules that you can sort of pick and choose. And then the very last one is post-production.
Nice.
So in that you'll go through some editing, and then mixing and mastering.
Nice. Wow, dude, that's awesome. It's funny. I think you might have mentioned it, but I can't remember. But like, this is the first time I'm hearing all the different modules. Dude, that's awesome. You really ran with this idea. I'm really proud of you, dude.
Yeah, dude. Thank you, man. Yeah, dude. This is like, something that I'm very passionate about teaching, and it's just,
Hey, me too.
Yeah. And it's it's something that I enjoy,
Yeah, it is really fun. I will say that. And you learn so much about yourself and your knowledge, and, having to explain it in different ways to like help somebody else. I think you and I think also just both really like helping people. I think we just genuinely like to help out. And I think that plays a really positive role, because like some students take longer than others to get a simple concept. And if you're committed to the idea of helping somebody, then they're going to be more appreciative. They're going to be more inspired and positive to actually do better. So I think it's a win-win overall.
Exactly, man. And like if you have the will to learn, like no matter how long you take, like you'll figure it out.
Yeah,
you'll figure it out. As long as you have a good teacher that's teaching you. And the reason that these courses they've got a lot of repetition in them, because a lot of this stuff is pretty repetitive, and it's like you won't get it the first time, but then you see it again, then I forgot about that. Yeah. And you see it like 5 times and you're like, yep, I got it. Like for example, when I was a student and like I did God knows how many drum tracking observations, and I would always forget to check phase. for the bottom snare mic. For like, I think the first 5 or 6 observations. And I would be like, oh my God, why do I keep forgetting this? But it's just something that I would never forget now. Right. So, it's just like, so this is just for any student that's listening. If you kind of feel like, that you're not getting it, like, relax, take it easy. You'll get it.
Yeah.
Just be patient and you'll get it. Like, you obviously don't know as much as your teacher, so don't compare yourself to the teacher. Or rather, don't compare yourself to anybody. Actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't compare yourself to anybody, and
it takes time.
It takes time, dude.
And here's the thing. I think you definitely like I saw the progression you made from when I first met you to now. And dude, it's exponentially amazing how far you've come. Like I can't even describe it. Like you have surpassed everything that I thought you would do, which is so inspiring to me. But
That's
like
crazy.
even yeah, just patience. Because I remember there were definitely times where you were down and you're like, oh man, I'm just not getting this. Like I
Not
remember
getting this. Yes.
I remember
Yeah,
many
dude.
times.
Yeah,
You're
dude,
just
because I was just like,
depressed.
oh, dude, why am I not fucking getting this? It's just, it can get frustrating. It can really get frustrating. But, you know, just, there used to be a time that I think for a whole year, I would literally only watch engineering related videos on YouTube or, or like I'd like, you know, subscribe to puremix.net and Mix with the Masters and that, and I would just keep watching those. So maybe I got a little obsessive about it and like I didn't watch any Netflix or anything for almost a whole year while I was a student. I was like, I'm just gonna keep doing this and just maybe that had a role in how fast I progressed.
Mhm.
But you know, nobody's asking anybody to do that. You can sort of do it at your own pace.
But it does take time. You have to put in the work and
Absolutely.
consistent work, and it does take time. But if you're consistent and push, you'll get there.
Dude, you're for constantly a student. Don't you have a t-shirt that says something to that effect?
Student for life.
Yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah,
Student for
Vicky
life.
gave me that one.
Yeah, dude, and it's like it's so true because it's I still keep dude, I learn stuff from my students sometimes.
Definitely.
Literally,
Definitely.
like so like I have a student who is like he's Ableton centric, and I'm not really an Ableton guy, but you know, I taught myself Ableton just to sort of explain him the concepts and then any Ableton centric classes he does with Vinny.
Mhm.
So like whenever I'm doing like those generic classes, like so many times I'll be like, oh, how the fuck do you do this? And he's like, oh yeah, you do it like this, and I'm like, oh okay, cool, thanks. So you know, like your students end up teaching you sometimes as well. You know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Man. Dude, we've done so much, man. And the uh,
Well,
I'll
just yeah.
I was
Think
gonna
about
say
how we
like
progressed.
yeah, no, but I was gonna say something really important, and I wanted to make sure I say it on this so it's on record forever, and I'll never forget this. But I'll always be appreciative to you and very grateful to you for just looking out for me, especially when I came back from India that first time, and you like, hey man, just stay at my place, just chill, do what you need to do. I got you. Like I never forgot that, dude. I never, ever forgot that, and I'm always gonna be forever grateful for that because you gave me a place to sleep. You gave me a place to just like, try my freelance stuff. I did the whole school thing, 4 hours, whatever. And yeah, and you've always looked out for me. Like I know I was just thinking about this. I think we've only known each other like 3 or 4 years, but it feels like so much longer. Like I
Yeah.
really, really respect you and love you as a brother because like you really
Oh, dude,
were
same
just
here, man.
you were there for me
Yeah.
and like I never forgot that. Sleeping on that
Well,
couch was amazing. What a year when we were roommates. It was such a good.
well, well. I only wanted a free teacher. That's why I had you around.
And I just needed a place to
dude,
stay.
absolutely, dude. I mean, I could say the same, dude. Like, you gave me a chance at Engine Room. You hired me, and you vouched for me for every step of the way. I think for like every fucking session that I got in the beginning, I remember you because it takes Scott a long time to trust someone, right?
Sure.
It takes Scott a really long time, and I think this was when I had very minimal interaction with him. And and he's and when he was looking for engineers, and I remember lots of times you were like, well, hey, Rohan's here, why don't you try Rohan or something? Yeah, so yeah, I appreciate that, dude. So, and I think it's just good to man, to just have a brother and a friend at this level, how like you and I can just fucking talk about anything at any point, and like our conversations go on for like hours. That's nuts. That's
You even
crazy.
called me this morning like, hey, just do it now. I'm like, no. And you were like, and I was like, no, we got to save it for the podcast. And I think you're like, no, man, we can always go.
I'm like, I want to know is there anyone even live?
No.
How do I see this?
There's 2 people watching and they haven't commented, so I guess they don't.
How
have
do you
any
know
questions.
that they're watching? Oh, should I say view stream on YouTube? Let's see what happens. It won't. If I click on view stream on YouTube, will it disconnect our session or something?
Maybe, so don't do that. But like I can see my YouTube stream and it's only 2 people, but it's okay. I mean, this is gonna be cut up into pieces, and it's just it's a timestamp.
Exactly. I think it's a timestamp on our friendship and brotherhood, and more than anything else.
By the way, the whole time I've been messing with my hair because I fucked up my haircut. I cut my own hair and I shaved this side a little too much.
Just take like those the clippers and just.
No. I'm just
Why?
trying to.
I think you look good. I think you look
no,
good. And
dude.
look at how much money you'll save on fucking haircuts, bro.
What, like?
To get a haircut.
No, dude. I have decent hair, and I'm gonna rock it for as long as I can. Once I start to go bald, then I'll shave.
No. Is your dad bald?
Like he has a little thing here, little circle.
What about like your mom's brothers? Or
no, they're not. They haven't shown any time.
Yeah, I think you're good, dude.
Then I'm not gonna shave it. I like my hair, but dude, I like shaved this much, way too short, and I'm like, oh no. And it was too late.
But you're not leaving the house. How does it matter?
But I'm on YouTube for everybody to see.
No one cares.
Exactly. No friends. Oh man, dude, we had such a good time. So many things.
You know what, dude? I miss like our late night halal trips.
I can't do those anymore, man.
After a while, after we would record drums for something, and then we'd go and eat halal. And I miss the chili chicken and rice truck. That's what I miss.
Whatever. No, that was your favorite. No,
my
wait.
favorite.
No, we have to talk about the news cover because so when we were, okay, so the news cover, the way the news goes, Periphery cover it. We had finished all the tracking of it, and I think I was like in the final stages of the mixes. And I think, and we had to like record the video and something, and like we had a very limited time where Shailene was around to take footage, and I guess
because we did the Litz video earlier that day.
Oh, with Grey Hunter.
With Grey Hunter, yes.
Oh my god!
And then we tried to rush that so that we could do this.
No, I don't. Well,
I mean, we didn't rush it, but whatever. Like we'd booked our thing as a bump
right after
them.
So we did their thing, which I would still love to finish because I think there was some good footage.
I still have never seen. Like
really?
I've never.
It looks good. It looks good, but like
But is there a properly edited version of their song?
The live song?
Their song, yeah. Oh, yes. Really?
Yes.
I've never seen that.
Yes, but like we never put it to picture because we were never able to get the video edited because of various business whatever things. But okay, so we had the Litz video we had to do, and then I guess like you had finished your part of the session, and I oh no, so you were done with your part of the session, so you were like, fuck it, I'm drinking. And I was like, bro, okay, go do your thing. I gotta finish. So I continue the session and finish it up. You and Vinny are having a blast. Right?
Shit. Vinny was there too, right?
Yeah. You and him were having a blast.
Every time I get drunk, Vinny is around. And then he turns around and blames that shit on me.
So he said the exact same thing, but you guys were having your fun. I finished up the session, and dude, by the time I was done and we were packing up, you guys were just party central. Like you guys were totally in that zone, and we were packing away.
I couldn't give a shit about.
Like, yeah, I don't give a shit about this periphery cover. Like, I'm just having a good time. And I was like, bro, we have to do this video tonight. No question. So get your shit together and let's do it. And you're like, okay, let's do it. Dude, I don't know how much you remember from that night, but
I remember pretty much a lot, I think.
So when we were recording guitars, you had forgotten the parts you had played, right? So,
yeah.
So we had to do it section by section, but every time we did a video take, you were like, "Oh, sorry, man. Let's do it again." like every bar was like, shit, let's do it again. Poor Shailene,
you
man.
sound like Scott.
Dude, poor Shailene. He was just stressing, man. And you kept apologizing, like, "Oh, sorry, man. Do one more kid at a time." and then you were done with
Vinny
that.
kept saying some fucking racist shit from the back.
Well, joking stuff.
He's fucking brown. That's why. He's brown.
So
he's joking, obviously.
Oh, of course. No, Vinny's our boy. Yeah. But then after that, what happened? So then you're done with guitars, and then you came in to the main
to the singing
to the listening room to do the singing part, and Vinny was right on the side,
right
off camera.
Yeah,
like he's literally right there. And while we're singing, like every time we stopped, you two would have an interaction or a drink, and just it was off the chain. I was trying so hard to keep everybody organized and ready, and you and Vinny were having a blast. Man, that was such a fun night, man. And you were so amped up. So even now when I watch that video, like I'm very just serious and just doing my little thing, but you're like having a blast. Yeah, because nobody knows how fucked up.
Oh man.
Oh, what a night.
That's what I love about these projects is these memories.
Yes.
More than, I mean, of course, the song has to be good and the product has to be good, but then it's the memories. It's all this other stuff, that the behind the scenes stuff. Do we have any behind the scenes like footage from that thing?
Oh no, dude. I was trying just to get you to record that video. You were like, "Nah, bro, let's do it another day. I'm just gonna party tonight." And I'm like, "No."
And dude, and I was leaving in like 2 days. Wow.
Oh, was that it?
Oh yeah, I was leaving in like 2-3 days back to India.
That's why I said we.
That's why you were rushing. You're like, no. If it's not happening tonight, it's not happening any other night. We may get bumped. Let's fucking do it tonight.
Oh my god! And we got it done. And man,
I think I was like, fuck it. No one's gonna bump us. I'll override the bump. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if Scott bumps us and then I bump the session, put the bumpable back on?
It's like, shit, how do you work this thing?
The next thing I'd get an email from Mark saying, Mark Christensen has allowed you to view this calendar.
Has removed
taken the pen. He's taken the pen away.
Removed your access rights or whatever.
The power to edit.
God,
power of the pen.
Dude,
Me and Vinny used to do that. Leonard, all the time. Every day, we used to like just remove his access to edit. I used to call up Scott. Scott, somebody remove. And Scott's like, shit, who the fuck keeps doing that?
Oh my God, dude.
Oh, man. We got away with a lot of shit. But the thing is, we always had the studios back no matter what.
Well, we always did the work. We always had the studios back. And
yeah, I think that's why, dude, Mark has seen me hammered as shit, like fucking leaving the studio at like 9 a.m. or something. And he's always like, let that shit go, because he's like, yeah, okay. When the time comes to work, he does the shit, you know. And he's been in a band, he's partied, he knows that, hey, man, like, this is a part of life that, you know, that
I mean,
that most people go through.
I don't know if he does it consciously, but that place is such an amazing environment just to grow and try stuff out and like develop yourself on every level as a person, as an engineer, as like a human being, as just collaborating with people. It's really a really special hub, I think. I'm really glad we did that.
Absolutely.
Man.
Absolutely.
I had all these notes and I have not used any of them.
What notes? Let's hit some of those points. Come on.
Well, we talked about when we met, talked about Engine Room, talked about the news cover, Synergy, talked about that, mixed with the master. See, like, I didn't even have to take...
did everything.
Exactly.
Why are you whining?
No. It's like sometimes I worry that we don't hit on stuff, but I should have known. If you and I just start talking, we'll just keep going.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. So, like, why don't you tell me a little bit about your students? Like, what kind of, you know, like, I mean, is everybody learning on Pro Tools? Everybody's learning on Logic?
Yeah.
Like,
so I teach the second mod. So I teach Pro Tools and a little bit of Ableton, like a kind of intro to Ableton. So, and since I also teach 2 consoles, the Audient 8024 and the Yamaha O2R. But yeah, we don't have console access right now.
Oh, wow. I'm actually thinking of when the studio opens up, I'm thinking of getting the Audient pre's that are the same pre's that are on the console.
They're not that great.
Really?
They're okay. The Audient console is very similar in routing to the SSL. Like, it really reminds me a lot of the SSL 4G, but the sound is just like,
I know, man. There's something about that SSL, man. There really is. There really is. It's just, I mean, in an ideal world, I wish we had a Neve to record on. But I like that SSL to mix on. I'm not gonna lie, dude.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
If it just weren't for these fucking revisions.
Yeah, I'll mix your song, but I don't want to do any revisions.
No fucking revision, because I hate the recall shit. That's what I don't like.
It is a pain in the ass. I mean, clever.
But that's why Plugin Alliance has saved my life, because now I mix on an SSL in the box. And
those
you want fucking revisions done, boom. But you're still, and now I've actually switched from the E console to the 9000J console. That's just another sound.
Interesting.
And I mean, I've done it because that's what Michael Brower used to use. And now that Plugin Alliance has put this out, you know, I spoke to Fernando, who is Michael's assistant. I was like, hey man, like, what do you think about this? And he's like, dude, it's mind blowing. And he's like, we went back to Electric Lady and checked out that, and everything is fucking matched so closely to that console that we can't tell the difference. We really can't. So
fascinating.
Yeah, dude, it's really cool. I mean, the only thing is it gets a little noisy, even though the J console is supposed to be quieter than the E console, but like in the plugin, it gets a little noisy, but you can always adjust the V gain and then it quiets down. But it's so.
Hey, when are you gonna go back to doing those in the boxes, man? I would love, like, what you're talking about now. That's a cool topic.
Yeah, man. I'm just really swamped, man. Like I don't know. Like just promoting these singles is taking a lot out of me, dude. That's why like actually doing this video with you is so cathartic because it's like, it's fun. I mean, and I don't mean to sound ungrateful or anything because, like I love the success of the music that's going on right now, but I'm very much just a musician at heart. Like I made the song, I put it out, and I just go listen to it. What do I need to answer all these fucking questions for? But I need to, man. And like it's that whole process is I don't know. It's for me, it's sucking the fun out a little bit. Like I'm not very. I don't know. I don't really enjoy doing press that much, right? And people can call me ungrateful or whatever, but that's just the way it is. I don't really like the spotlight that much. I like to make music, but I'm not doing it to get famous or anything. And that's not the goal for me.
So what is the goal then?
The goal is just to do music and to put it out and to spread the word as much as I can. But that's why that's the vicious cycle or the vicious circle. If you want to put the word out, you got to do the press.
Yeah, no, because it sounds when you say get the word out, it sounds like you want to be famous, but that's not it because you're starting a new venture with this synergy thing, and you want to. Get the word
yes, out. Well, a lot of why I'm doing this is, of course, because if an institute is to run, everyone wants to know who's the person behind the institute. And it'll be nice for them to have a familiar face that it's that guy. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I don't shy away from the press. I'm very confident in the press, and I'm very comfortable with the press. It just gets a little repetitive for me after a while, and whatever.
Draining. It's a little draining.
Yeah.
You told me something
musical.
interesting the other day when we talked. You said something interesting, like the amount of work you have to put into promoting a song is almost equal to the amount of work writing and producing and mixing the song.
Yes. I mean, not even almost equal. I would say equal. Yeah. As of now, it feels like it's more work.
That's probably because you don't like it as much.
I mean, I like it, but I gotta say, I'm very, very just thankful for Malvika for being on my team because she keeps me motivated and she knows me very well, and she knows when I start to drop.
Dip.
Yes, and so she knows kind of what to say just to kind of pick me up and bring me there. And nice. Dude, she's killing it, man. She's got me everywhere in every fucking publication on the country. In fact, we're doing tomorrow's Father's Day, right? And there's an article coming out tomorrow. At least I hope it comes out. I know I answered the questions, but you don't know until it's actually out. But there's a feature on Father's Day where they featured me. And what she told me is that I asked her who all has been featured. And she's like, a couple of Bollywood actors, a couple of cricketers, and you. And I'm like, well, who else from the music industry? And she's like, I don't know. I don't think there's any, but I'll find out. So that's a good sign because like if all over the country, if it's like when they're picking someone from the music industry and they pick me to put on that thing, that's a good sign. That's just a good sign as an artist. Just to be recognized and to be, sure. I love all of that. It's just, I want to just be in the studio making more music, and sometimes this is taking away from that. So, but look, you got to play the game. You got to play the game.
It is a balance. Like you do have to understand the game a little bit and play it as much as you want it, as long as it doesn't burn you out and destroy your life.
I think it's burning me out a little bit. So to the point, after this single, I think I want to take a break for maybe a month or so, just to
That's fair.
recoup. And I don't know if I told you this, but I've started working on an album, actually.
Whoa, a solo album?
Yes.
You might have mentioned it, but go ahead.
Yeah, it's not the Keep Holding On sound. It's the Victoria's Secret sound.
Nice.
Which is organic, but with strings.
Hey, this is kind of like the idea we had for what was it called?
Whatever it was called.
We had some idea for something.
We had the by chance thing. We spoke about the by chance.
Yes.
Thing.
So you're gonna do it.
Yeah. Of
course.
Cool. Yeah, dude.
That's awesome.
I need to do it. That thing's just like, oh.
It is a great
that
idea.
The strings thing is just
dude, that's exciting.
The thing with by chance is, man, like even with Victoria's Secret, it was supposed to be a by chance song.
Right.
But I wasn't getting the response from you guys. Maybe from you a little bit, but from Shailene, like zero response, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just can't sit around and wait. That's the only thing.
Totally. No, here's the thing. I think by chance works really well when we're together.
We're all together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like it was in Marbella, like in your last apartment.
Yeah.
We were it wasn't like we kind of, okay, this Saturday, let's meet up. No, it was just like we were hanging out and say, hey, pick up a guitar, play something. And like,
that's what I loved about it. That's what I loved about it.
Dude, remember how Time came about? Oh God,
yes.
we didn't even
That's
talk
a cool.
about...
You should tell that story. That's actually a cool engineering story too. You should tell that story.
So I think By Chance has a song called Time, and it's, I guess, the last song on the trilogy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Right? And the way that song came about was I was a few months or a month or two out from leaving for India for like 3 months. I was leaving Engine Room, and we were doing a test on the Apollo 8P.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, because I wanted to see how it sounded. I just bought an Apollo 8P, and I wanted to see how the preamp sounded on different instruments, drums, guitar, vocals. And so we set up in the studio. We hooked up the drums to the Apollo 8P.
Well, actually, you wanted to start with just the drums.
Yes.
There was nothing else involved at
exactly.
first.
So it was like, hey, Shailene, play some drums. And he's like, oh, what should I play, bro? And that's my impression of Shailene. But he's like, what should I play? And I said, just something simple, like play like a cymbal intro, play a verse beat, a chorus beat, and an outro. That's it. And so he played like some stuff. And then you said, okay, now you, Rohan, get on the guitar, just play some chords, play like similar structure, intro, verse, chorus, outro. And then you kind of took over the Pro Tools session, and I hopped on a microphone, and just the first stuff that came to mind was what I riffed out. And it was really ironic, now that I'm thinking about it, is that the song that I was speaking about came at a time when I was about to leave Engine Room and leave my friends and leave everything behind for a while. And I talked about how time slips away and you should always hold the people around you as close as possible and, never forget them or whatever, something about that. Right. Mm-hmm. And it just goes to show, like, sometimes the things you say in the moment out of like that emotional drive and in that space are some of the truest things. 'Cause that song was really about people like you.
And they end up being in the song, and they end up being part of the lyric.
Yeah.
And it was so funny that how that song was actually kind of like a farewell, or like it was kind of like a parting note.
Yeah.
Because you were leaving. And it's so funny how that song actually ended up being more of a beginning.
Mm. Yeah.
Because that's what started by chance.
Yeah. Yeah. When I came back, the first thing we worked on was Time.
And then we wrote the B&B song. And then there was Blue Sky and Hard to Breathe that I had already written before By Chance.
Right.
And they ended up fitting, and you guys liked them. And we were like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it. So like that, but it was Time that ended up being the runway for the plane to sort of take off.
Yeah, dude. So I
Yeah.
think it's not that By Chance like is over or anything. I just think that like it works best when we're
together.
And I
Exactly.
think, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just how it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And I think I would say the same about any project, even Mayaxic. I'm starting to realize that as much as I used to think that this is my thing and whatever, it's like I think we have to learn how to work as a team, and like some teams work better in person. Some teams, different people have different paces. Like you need to be doing your thing and moving on ahead. And like nobody wants to hold anybody back. I think we care about each other so much that like, yeah, okay, do your thing, bro. Like we're gonna support you, whatever you do. And whenever we're in a room together, if we start ripping,
yeah,
hey,
of course, man.
maybe it'll turn into something.
There's so much. Like I still want us to do that song that Shailene wrote, with that riff.
Oh, well, I think he wants to do that as a solo thing.
Oh, well, that's fine.
But he wrote a different song, which is actually really cool.
That video that you sent to me?
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. So I really like that. So we can turn that into something. And I hope someday we'll get back to it. I think we have great chemistry, so I'm not sweating it. I think it'll happen.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. That's what awesome. I love about it. And like By Chance was never something that was pushed into anything. We got into it because we just loved being together, making music. And it just ended up getting a lot of attention when I moved back to India, and it wasn't really pushed until it got some attention, to the fact that it got Malvika's attention. And then she's like, well, okay, there's something here. Let's do this the right way. Let's put it out, let's pitch it to Rolling Stone. Let's pitch it to this. And she's like, well, you haven't been around for fucking 5 years. I don't even think they're going to pick it up, but let's see what happens. And they ended up picking it up for a fucking premiere. Like that was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's like unheard of, right? So
pretty awesome.
But that's, and it just happened.
Organic.
We never made the songs with that intention. That's why the music is so pure. We made the songs the way we liked the songs. Yeah,
it was just a lot of fun.
Even though time vocals could be a little louder, but you guys thought it sounded good, so that was.
I think I don't think we thought about it too much. I think we just all like, okay, what feels good? Let's just run with it. And like when I listen to Time, I don't think the vocals need to be louder, but like I think there are some things that I could have performed better. No. Like, I disagrey. I disagree.
0.2 dB.
No chance. No, don't even touch it.
Dude, it's out now. No one's touching it now. It's out now.
Hey man, when I was going through the news cover, I did a lesson on like vocals and stuff. The very end, the tears burst to lullabies and feel me like a right. So I just found out in my mix. I don't know if I labeled it wrong, or you labeled it wrong, or somebody. But like,
how would I label it wrong?
Hello, you recorded my vocals. So anyway, listen. So there's a main vocal and there's a vocal DT, which is the same essentially, but apparently I had switched the two accidentally. So what you hear on the actual song is the doubled vocals high, and the main vocals very low at the very end. I mean, it worked out okay.
But it's the same thing, so it doesn't matter.
Same thing, but I think the main vocals, I don't know why we called them that or why they switched.
I think it's just because you did one first and you did the other second. That's all. Doesn't mean that one was a better performance than the other.
Who knows, buddy? But anyway, again, it felt good to everybody.
Did you send that session to me?
Yes.
You did, right?
I did. Yeah, it's up on Drive.
I gotta check that out. That would be a cool little mixing exercise for
Dude, I really think you like. if you have time, try to make it fun somehow. Like I think you should go back to In the Box. I think just listening to you now, like the amount of technical knowledge you have, and you're talking about second harmonic, like, dude, I don't know any of this stuff. I think it'd be really valuable to do. If you can just make it fun and make it really simple to just set up and just put out there, I think you should do it. So good.
I think I'll get back into it. Yeah, like,
just don't put too much like work into the editing video and all. Don't just like do a simple video, have Pro Tools in the back, and just put it out, dude. I think it's good information. I really do.
Yeah,
like you have so much knowledge.
It would be cool to just share some sort of because I was mainly focusing on like plugin reviews. I like plugins. Yeah, maybe I could do some plugin reviews.
You
some
should.
Really
dude.
cool plugins that I've been.
I'll teach you how to set up OBS and literally.
Oh yeah. You gotta help me do that fucking stereo shit.
And that's it. So set up OBS, broadcast to YouTube or something, or just record that, and then just cut out the parts that you like. And
you can record it locally.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. Stereo.
Yeah.
Like proper stereo output from Pro Tools. Yeah. Totally.
That's awesome. Cool.
So.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Wow. So this is good. We went 2, and now there's 3 people watching. Now they come. See?
No, wait. Okay, let's do a test. Let's see if I go to view stream on YouTube. Will I still be there?
No, don't do it now. I let me stop the recording and everything. Anyway, so anything you want to share last minute, any kind of thing you want to share, or like advice or upcoming things you're working on, or anything you want to?
Well, I mean, advice, man. I think I gave a lot of advice on the way. And for any students of Jeet, I mean, he's an amazing teacher. So you guys are super lucky. He was one of my teachers, man. And like now we're here fucking talking, and and yeah. So who knows, man? Maybe one of you guys could be here in like a year or something, talking with him. So yeah, man, just keep at it. As of now, I'm working on a bunch of projects. I'm working on a couple of production projects with some artists in New York. Then I am working on a theme song project for this football league in India. And when I say football, I mean soccer for any Americans that are watching soccer. And then I picked up a mastering project for another band in India, from South India. So yeah. So
hey, we have to do that. We have to do that, dude. Let's do that cover. I really want you to be a part of it.
Yeah. Absolutely, dude. I'm down. I like the song.
Oh yeah, you heard the song? Don't mention it. Don't mention it. But like,
I'm not.
It's a beautiful song.
It's a good song. So let me know what you want me to do. Like acoustic guitar?
I was thinking you would do acoustic guitars, and I was gonna play cajon on this one, maybe.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get Shailene to sing vocals on it.
How? Where is the studio? Where is he? Does he have a studio?
No, he'll have to do a home setup. I told him to like get it as dry as possible.
Where are you gonna record cajon?
I might go into the studio and do it.
Really? Ooh.
Depends on how
Who's gonna engineer that shit? No chance.
Why?
No. He's become too big now.
What big? What kind of big are we talking about? No, maybe I'll get Bader to do it. Bader's pretty good at that acoustic stuff.
Oh yeah, dude. And Bader loves like tracking.
Yep. So
I remember even when I saw him that time, right after AES, or at AES rather, when we guys all walked to the bar, he was just like, "Yeah, dude, I'm just looking for just recording projects.
Yeah,
just tracking projects.
He loves tracking.
I don't want to. Yeah, I just want.
Yeah, it's so interesting because usually everybody loves mixing, but he loves tracking so much.
Yeah, I like tracking too, dude. Like I love the mic placements and stuff. Yeah. So I'm about to put out a new one-man band video. It's a Foo Fighters cover.
Wow, nice.
And dude, the cajon on that, everything sounds great. The cajon sounds so good. Yeah, I'm really happy with the way it came out. But I'm gonna release it like in a couple of weeks.
Nice.
I'll send you the video though, just for
Totally.
you to watch. Yeah, check it out.
Dude,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
So yeah, I was hoping you'd play acoustic guitar on this. It's a beautiful song. If you need help, like you said, like the parts and everything, I can ask my guy Hari. He's an amazing musician. He can.
Oh, dude, is that the guy whose bass was at our place?
Yes.
Ah,
so
and he used to live in Newport.
Dude, this guy's a genius. He's genius level. Like, I mean, he might not say so himself, but like his mind is really powerful. And like, I remember when I was in high school with him, like he'd listen to a song and he'd write chords down like you write lyrics, like, you know, E sus7, B minor, 4, just like his ear training his ear is really amazing.
That's awesome. That's great, dude.
So if anything, I can ask him to either write it down or like maybe program the MIDI and send it to you and send it soloed.
We'll work it out. Yeah.
But I think that'll be.
If I hear the part, I could probably play it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So there's only some guitar in that, but we're thinking of expanding on it. So I'll figure it out.
We'll work it out. Let's do like a Zoom call between the three of us and figure it out.
Sounds good. Cool.
Sounds good, man.
Shall we call it?
Absolutely, dude. Thank you so much. This is fun, man. That one part where I could not stop laughing was just, oh my God.
Yep, I'll cut this up into little snippets. I'll send it to you. I'll put the podcast up on Spotify. Next time I'm gonna have Danny in, so that's gonna be fun. I want to get Millis on.
Wow.
Millis is gonna be. I haven't reached out to Millis yet, but I think he'd be really good to talk to.
I think it'll be totally cool, dude. like I don't really know about any of their podcasts, but I'd be so down, dude.
Did I tell you his good friend used to drum for Mayaxic?
Really? No.
Yeah, for a very short period of time.
Is it the guy who you always used to have a conflict with?
No. So that was this other guy, Cobbs, and him and I. Well, it's a little bit. It was not just conflict. Like we also had really great musical chemistry. Like whenever we just shut up and just like talked, whenever we just shut up and played music, we would lock in so well. But whenever it came down to like, you know, running stuff and doing this, and we'd always like just butt heads on everything. But after he left, we needed somebody to fill in. And he left. Like I guess, yeah, whatever. So Millis's friend John was playing with us for a while, and him and Millis are like exact duplicates of each other. Like they're so similar. They look similar. They talk similar. They're very chilled out. And John was such a blast. Like we went on tour and everything together. He was so much fun to be around, man. So yeah,
that's awesome. It's still really weird every time I see Millis with short hair. It's still very weird to me. Like I remember when I bumped into him at Engine Room, it was just like, and then I bumped into him at AES as well, and it was just like, what? You know, it's
new
like
look.
Very weird.
Yeah.
So my entire time at Engine Room that I knew him, he had long
hair. Yeah, I think he'd be a really interesting guy to talk to.
Oh, dude, absolutely. I'm actually wanting to reach out to him to maybe do like a workshop for Synergy or something.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, I'd like to get you on for a workshop as well. I'd like to do a couple of workshops myself. I've already had Vinny one time.
Yeah, totally. I'd be down to do that. Yeah. I don't know what I would talk about. What would I talk about?
Oh, whatever. Like we'll figure it out.
Can talk about just.
We can figure it out. You know, whatever you're comfortable talking about. You know, like.
Yeah.
Drum production maybe or some shit like that. Yeah.
Like drum mixing. That could be fun.
Drum mixing, sure.
Because I don't know how would I do a seminar on recording if.
I know now that we're all locked in, it's a little hard. Unless you could do it from Engine Room somehow.
And like live stream it.
Yeah,
that's true.
Get like a table.
Yeah, or just somebody. Well, even that's gonna be hard. But yeah, we'll figure it out. I'd be down to do that.
Get one of the interns to assist,
Assist.
like carry the phone around, camera.
Yeah, maybe that's all it is. But audio, right? How do you have to transmit audio as well? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll figure that out. Cool. Let's call it, dude. All right, everybody.
Take it easy.
Peace out.